Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another Total War 3 Kingdoms online battle. Today me and the Pixelated Apollo are going to be facing off on the field and seeing who can come out on top. In this battle we are bringing large armies, so there's going to be a lot to command and hopefully I will come out on top this day. As you can see, we are also playing with a records mode, so these heroes no longer are just individual entities, they are going to be on horseback, so we'll be able to see them throw into the battle and hopefully they'll be doing some serious damage. I mean, literally the bodyguards can take on a lot of people, and you'll see it. Lubu's bodyguard unit along with his other heavy shot cavalry are going to do some crazy damage in this battle. It should be very, very exciting. So let's run through quickly what I brought to the battlefield whilst this is going on. On my front line, I do have some of these defenders of Earth. So these guys are actually pretty insane. We don't have amazing range and there's not a lot of them. However, they basically shoot out like these ballista bolt fire arrows. It's crazy. And in the battle, these guys kind of get smashed early on, but then they come back and do a crazy amount of damage. Behind that, I do have some heavy spear guard kind of holding my front line. Behind them, I have some mercenary infantry. Going to be using these guys on my flanks, kind of like a shock infantry. And I also have some sword guard as well. So kind of like, I've gone pretty heavy on the infantry, but I've mainly focused spending most of my money on the defenders of the earth and also the heavy shot cavalry because, yeah, this heavy shot cavalry just is crazy. They're tanky and they output so much damage. Then if we take a look at Apollo's forces, on his front line he has some heavy crossbowmen who have a great range. It's these guys right here. Oh, he's not even heavy crossbowmen, just normal crossbowmen. So he's gone for a little bit less armor on them, but their range and damage is pretty similar to the heavy variant, so very deadly. Behind that, he's got some protectors of heaven, some great shock infantry, really good glaives, and they can just break up shield walls fairly effectively. He then has some mercenary infantry and also some of these dragon axemen as well. So he's got a very, very strong infantry force for sure, and kind of cheaper archers and cheaper cavalry, as he does have his generals back here. And where else does this cavalry? Yeah, I mean, he needs a couple units of saber infantry, so I should kind of come out on the cavalry and missile front. However, the crossbows will do a lot of damage, especially if Lubu's ambush can work out. Apollo also has this hidden ambush, which I can't see. I can see it in the replay right now, but this ambush is waiting in the winds with his axe infantry. The mountain marauders are going to come flying out of the mountain and hit that. I mean, that looks really cool, seeing the two forces in the distance kind of move closer, and this ambush just waiting for their time to pounce. That's awesome. And obviously I can't see what's going on. But also Apollo can't see what I've got over there on the left hand side. The cavalry is also hidden in this battlefield, which is kind of cool. We've both got these big ambush forces just waiting, waiting to pounce. Mine's cavalry with Lubu, and Apollo's is a big amount of axemen, which we'll see how that does play out. So right now Apollo is going to be marching forward with his army, trying to close the distance. He does have them crossbows, so it's a pretty good plan to try and close that distance. Get them crossbows firing as soon as possible, and I think they are about to be returning that or shooting out that first volley any second now. See the flags marching as the infantry push up further and further. Also, for my general, my commander is going to be Zhuge Liang, I think is how you pronounce that. One of the legendary strategists. He's going to be leading the forces, and his strategy was this big ambush, but, you know, I'm going to get counter-ambushed very soon. I mean, ideally, what I need to do in this battle is just win this missile off and win the cavalry fight, and things should be good for me. My infantry's always going to lose, but hopefully they can just hold out long enough. And there we go, the crossbows are going to kick off here with a couple volleys, and immediately, these defenders of Earth just lose 10 men in a unit. These guys are like glass cannons. They're getting demolished by the crossbows. And this is atrocious for me because these guys are ridiculously expensive. And Apollo is just demolishing them right now. I didn't realize they were this much of a glass cannon. You can see he's almost killed this one unit with his crossbows. I'm going to be returning fire right now, but my god. And they're going down quickly. But you can also see the amount of damage they do. They're like one of a really big legendary units shooting out like these explosive arrows. But yeah, it was kind of crazy, you know. I basically lost my entire archer force right off the bat, you know. Luckily, they're still doing some good damage, especially as he moves up his men right now. But yeah, that was crazy. Like, I lost so much of my money just right off, right away. Lubu is going to be sallying out of the forest now, trying to catch Apollo off guard with the cavalry, leading the men forward. And I'm hoping I can get some good rear charges off on his cavalry. I want to try and break this cavalry, like, on the charge. I'm hoping I'm going to be successful. You can see Lu Bu leading them as well right there on horseback. And there we go. We're going to get ahead and initiate this charge. And I just shred through his cavalry. Lu Bu's heavy horses, along with everyone else, coming in as well. It's just absolutely massive. The infantry lines are getting ever closer to colliding as well. As we just go down the battle line. I am being pretty heavily harassed by his missiles, but overall, the infantry are doing a good job. And they're about to clash. Apollo's going to get this first charge off on his axeman. As he flies into me, sending a few units going back. Well, my main push is right here. He's going to be throwing in Liu Bei and also Sun Si as well into the fight. And the cavalry fight is going to kick off. Apollo is now going to launch his hidden infantry as well. And I'm basically just trying to get every single bit of cavalry I have over to this fight, because Apollo is plowing in his cavalry. And this is just Lu Bu right now, holding back this entire army. It's kind of crazy. Well, Lu Bu and an extra unit of cavalry. But now I'm going to be throwing up into the engagement the rest of my infantry as well, as my cavalry into this one. But yeah, all my infantry is in. I've also formed some cool circle formations as well. I mean, Apollo's just going to sit back and shoot me, so it's not as effective, but it's still cool nonetheless. And now the infantry lines are now duking it out. But this fight is not going to go in my favor. You know, I've got spearmen. Apollo has axemen and glaive infantry. So they're going to, break away my spearmen over time. I'm also now engaging over on this side as well, throwing up my my generals. We've got Zhao Yun over here on this right flank. And I'm also going to be throwing in the rest of my generals and any other cavalry I have and any infantry I have to support this. This is kind of my main push right now. I am in desperate need to win this fight right here. If I win this fight and kill some of his generals, that would be really useful. But all of a sudden, Apollo's ambush has finally come into view, and he's going to be charging in to my formation and just being able to rip me apart. And I don't really have anything to send right now. I can have these formations, and I'm trying to fall back and trying to retreat and try and just basically hold this flank, because this infantry is just flying in. He's quickly turned his crossbows, really smart by him, just to start hitting my infantry right here as I try and run away. And I'm just being overwhelmed on this left flank. I spent so much money on my archers who got slaughtered, and on my cavalry who are tied down trying to fight some generals, that his axes are just coming in and causing me a large amount of damage. And there's gaps appearing in my battle line because of that. Apollo is bringing over more and more of his infantry. I actually can't believe how fast these yellow dragons are. They are hauling ass right now to get over on this left-hand side and help out in this big battle that's going on, as my cavalry are engaged against his yellow dragons and also with Sun Jin. Pretty brutal stuff on the battlefield right now. The archer fire is coming in. And I mean, that's the thing though, the crossbow fire is still just smashing away at my formation. So even though I've managed to engage his infantry, his superior infantry, when I'm trying to defend that flank, I'm still being smashed by crossbow bolts and just other projectiles coming in. So it's causing me some real huge issues on this front line. And you can see the balance of power is now shifting away from me. However, all hope is not lost. If I can go ahead and kill his generals, if I can kill Liu Bei, if I can kill Sun Si and also Zhang, then maybe there's a chance. Maybe I can start breaking his infantry and rear-charging with shock cavalry. And also, as you can see, he's got what, 4 of his generals right here, and Lu Bu is just going in. How many kills is he on right now? He's on 183 kills, and all of that is basically cavalry. It's just, do I have enough time until these axes come colliding in and breaking me? I'm not sure that if I do or not. Only time will tell, I guess. Oh, it's kind of a cool sync kill right there. So there are a handful of sync kills in this game. Not many, but there are definitely some. And they are far and few, between, but it's kind of cool to see them at least in the game somewhat. I'd love to see more, and hopefully we will get more in later DLCs and stuff. So now at this point on the right-hand side, I'm throwing in my general, cavalry, and also the rest of the infantry. I'm just really trying to break down his last 2 generals. Sun Jin is really close to dying, and you can see I'm going to actually pursue him as well. Try my best to catch him and kill him. Because I feel like at this point in the battle, that's the only way I'm going to win, is by killing his generals and then rear charging his infantry. There's a really nice rear charge on the glaive infantry. And you can see they literally just dropped by like 50 men. These guys are so vulnerable to cavalry charges. Especially against the heavy shot cavalry. They just get absolutely demolished. And that's going to help me break up this formation, you know. Like, I just routed 2 units with 1 rear charge. So if I can hurry up and win this battle, then that would be massive. Unfortunately, though, his generals are just breaking, and I didn't kill them. As well as that, he's now committing infantry he has to help out, you know. The fact that he just has all this infantry scattered around is causing me so many issues. I'm going to go in for another rear charge here with my cavalry. Try and salvage something. Again, a pretty effective charge against unformed up infantry. That's going to be big. But it's just not going to be enough on that left flank. As you can see, Apollo is just ripping through my formation. His axes are just kind of collapsing in. And he's surrounding me on every single side. Now that this right-hand side is enveloped, it's only a matter of time until that formation breaks. I do have men coming back everywhere, and I'm going to be throwing them back into the combat. Try anything I can to bring this one back. And unfortunately, like, I didn't manage to kill Zhao Yu or Liu Bei either. Liu Bei, I think, he still has 4 men left and he's still alive, yeah. Oh, he did just go down there? Oh, wow, Liu Bei just got absolutely smacked and then vanished. There he is. F in the chat for Liu Bei. F in the chat. So at least I managed to kill him before the end of the battle, which is nice. And now Lu Bu is going to come back and try and salvage something, you know. I am making a lot of his units rout on this left-hand side, which is pretty big. And these archers somehow are just doing so much damage. Like, you guys will see their kills at the end of the battle. Is that just like an arrow? That's kind of cool. Yeah, these archers are crazy good. These guys are on 260 kills. And you saw how much damage they took at the beginning of a battlefield. At the beginning of a battle, I should say. It was actually kind of crazy. The fact that they've done this much damage with so few of them, like, I can't imagine what, like, I definitely want to incorporate a few of these guys in my armies. Maybe, like, 4 heavy crossbows and 2 of these defenders of the earth, and just leave these guys at the back until the enemy kind of, I've whistled down the enemy missiles. Because they're definitely a glass cannon. And now Lu Bu is charging in once again. He is leading the men. He is definitely the frontal force of this army. Getting so many kills and just routing so many opponents as they flee from the battlefield. Oh, I also forgot to turn back on the audio as well. Make sure to do that for the next battle. Normally I play with the Chinese Mandarin voiceovers and stuff. I forgot to turn that back on. And as you can see, the battle is looking extremely dire. It seems like Apollo, well, it is, Apollo has definitely won this one. Only Lu Bu survives. And he's going to fight to the last man. I think he is literally unbreakable, so he can't rout. He will fight to the death. I think it says here somewhere that he is actually breakable. Yeah, he's unbreakable, so he will just fight to the bitter end. But we can just triple speed through that and watch Apollo. So yeah, Apollo crushed me on this battle, losing my archers like that. Was the first time I used them, so I didn't realize there'd be that much of a glass cannon, but them crossbows shredded. And the fact that the crossbows have greater range, you need to be much more careful. I think if you have some more crossbows to kind of duke out with theirs, and then you bring up them defenders of the earth later, would have been huge. And my cavalry charge, even though it was extremely effective, it just wasn't enough. Apollo could use that ambush to come in and break me there. Let's take a look at kills, see who racked up the most. I mean, yeah, look at that. Like, you guys saw how much these guys got just absolutely ruined at the beginning of a battle, but they still got a ton of kills. If these guys are full strength, I don't know what would have happened. I think I could have easily have turned that battle around, but unfortunately I was foolish with them, and I paid the price. The cavalry as well. I mean, the cavalry actually look better than it looks, because a lot of these kills were on cavalry, so it's smaller army numbers, smaller divisions they killed, and they killed a lot of generals as well. So I'm happy with how well these performed. And even, I mean, also, it's kind of impressive how Sun Si? Is this Sun Si? I think so. How many kills he got. And even my strategist doing good as well. So overall, it was a pretty fun battle. I've got another couple battles between me and Apollo going live later in a couple days. So be sure to check them out. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one.